Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. Today we are going to discuss about history of personal laws by religions in India. Content for this video I given in the description. You can go through and study. The debate for a uniform civil code dates back to the colonial period in India. Prior to the British rule under the East India Company 1757 to 1858, they tried to reform local social and religious customs by imposing the Western ideologies on India. The Lex Loci report of October 1840 emphasized the importance and necessity of uniformity in codification of Indian law relating to crimes, evidences and contract, but it recommended that personal laws of Hindus and Muslims should be kept outside such codification. According to religious divisions in India, the British separated the personal laws which would be governed by religious scripture and custom of the various communities, Hindus, Muslims, Christians and later Parsis. These laws were applied by the local courts or panchayat when dealing with regular cases involving civil disputes between people of the same religion. The state would only intervene in exceptional cases. Throughout the country, there was a variation in preference for scriptural or customary laws because in many Hindu and Muslim communities these were sometimes at conflict. Such instances were present in communities like the Jat and Dravidians. The Sutras, for instance, allowed widow remarriage completely contrary to the scriptural Hindu law. The Hindu laws got preference because of their relative ease in implementation, preference for such a Brahminical system by both British and Indian judges, and their fear of opposition from the high caste Hindus. The difficulty in investigating each specific practice of any community case by case made customary laws harder to implement. Towards the end of 19th century, favoring local opinion, the recognition of individual customs and traditions increased. The Muslim personal law based on Sharia law was enforced in different parts of India. It had no uniformity in its application at lower courts due to the diversity of the local culture of Muslims in different parts of India. Even though some communities converted to Islam, the local indigenous culture continued to be dominant in their practice of Islam, and therefore the application of Sharia law was not uniform across the country. This led to the customary law, which was often more discriminatory against women, to be applied over it. Women, mainly in northern and western India, often were restrained from property inheritance and dowry settlements, both of which the Sharia provides. Due to pressure from Muslim elite, the Shariat law of 1937 was passed, which stipulated that all Indian Muslims should be governed by Islamic laws on marriage, divorce, maintenance, adoption and succession and inheritance. Therefore, while Hindus have to follow the Hindu code bill, Muslim and other religions were given the liberty to follow their own respective laws. For Muslims, the All India Muslim Law Board makes the law, which is a private entity. Personal laws are determined based on religious identity. Currently, not only Muslims but also Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Sikhs, Parsis and Jews are governed by their own personal laws. Moreover, many personal laws are not codified or documented but are based on oral or written sources that are often ambiguous or contradictory. Hindu personal law is based on ancient texts like Vedas, Smritis, and Upanishads, and modern concept of justice, equality, and conscience, etc. Muslim personal law is primarily based on the Quran and Sunnah, which pertains to the saying of Prophet Muhammad and his way of life. Apart from Quran, ijma, that is consensus among the learned Muslim jurists on legal issues, and qiyas, analogical deduction, and are also regarded as source for Muslim personal law. Similarly, Christian personal law is based on scripture, that is Bible, traditions, reason, and experience. Bible talks about God's permissive will of religious personal laws in India. Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 25. I also allowed them to follow laws that were no good and rules by which they could not live.